an exciting begin to the morning, Mzwai. I want to ask you about the Deputy Chief Justice dismissal of the application. But first, an interesting scene happened earlier on where we saw the legal team go into the judge's quarters, if you like, led by evidence leader, Advocate Paul Pretorius. What was happening there?
Well, Desiree, time and again, the legal team and the presiding officer, or rather the judge, they would go into his chambers if there is one or two things that they need to resolve. I would assume they just perhaps was an issue that they needed to look at. That's why you saw them walking into the chambers. It's nothing out of the ordinary, so it happens all the time. Oh, it does. We thought it was out of the blue, but tell us about the processes, what happened this morning with Advocate Helens's request being turned down. Well, remember when we spoke earlier, we did indicate today that there will also be applications. So at the time, we were not sure who was applying for what. But when we walked in here, we realized that it may have to do with the Guptas, because we know that Advocate Mike Helens represents the Guptas. So in this instance, he was coming to represent Ajay Gupta, who wanted Desiree to cross-examine the former minister, Trevor Manuel. This relates to the issue of the appointment of Mr. Fikile Mbalula as the sports minister. But that application was dismissed primarily on the basis that the Guptas are still not able to travel to South Africa. So the judge made a ruling last year in September to say whoever wants to cross-examine anyone must come to this forum and deal with those issues. So as a result, we did not even go to the substantive issues of what is it that they want to speak about. So we now understand that at some point, former Minister Manuel will come to this forum to put his side of the story insofar as the appointment of Fikile Mbalula as sports minister is concerned. Remember, there were various media reports when he was appointed that the Guptas were the first ones to actually inform him to say, Minister, so you'll be promoted from Deputy Minister of Police to being a full Minister of Sports. So that is the issue really that was going to be discussed here. But given that they would not even agree in terms of changing the mind of the judge about his ruling, so it did not even continue. So basically the judge dismissed it to say the ruling that he made in September stands. So basically all the judge is saying is that whoever wants to come and cross-examine must avail himself to this forum like everyone else, Desiree. Mr. Helens was saying that if Ajay is not given the opportunity to come and to cross-examine, the proceedings will just be academic. Those were his words. What does he mean? Well, his argument was basically to say, I think just about every case or the charges that are being put against the Guptas normally fall through. So he was saying, as a result, when they come here, so they would also actually face those charges. And then he maintains that the Guptas are basically saying the Hawks, the NPA, are quite incompetent. So if they are allowed to come here into the country, they will probably arrest them, even if they know that at a later stage that prosecution will not succeed. So they don't want to subject themselves to all sorts of things. So that is why, so if there are issues that they need to answer to, so they must be allowed to get that opportunity. So the brothers were refused to cross-examine Mcebisi Jonas. They couldn't cross-examine Feki Mento and Themba Maseko on the same basis. So yet again denied the process unless they come through face-to-face with the judge. Yes, that is the rule. That is the ruling of the judge, and that ruling stands. Desiree, I have to conclude this.
We're going to let you go. We're going to let you go. I can see
otherwise
it's a bit uneasy in the background.
In contempt of court, yes.
Thank you very much, Mzwayi Mbeje. He will continue to update us as events unfold at the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture in Parktown, but we'll continue to bring it to you live.